morning, folks, and welcome to another edition of City Hall Live. I am Joe Abeyta, and joining us today is the City Councilor, Ramon Tiger Abeyta from District 3. Good morning. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good.
Good, good. Thank you for coming and joining us.
Sure.
We got some things to talk about with you. One of the main things, right, is it the dog chain ordinance? What's the correct
It's an
word?
amendment to our existing animal ordinance,
Okay.
and it's actually the ordinance was introduced by Councilor Lindell, and I'm a co-sponsor along with a couple of other councilors.
Okay, and what is it in layman's terms? What is it going to do?
What it is it's requiring, putting in more or different requirements than we've had in the past, primarily focusing on the welfare and well-being of dogs.
Okay. And really, it's what, like no chained up dogs, that type of thing, or what?
Yeah, well, there's a few items in there. One is no tethering of dogs.
Okay.
So, you know, with a big heavy chain on a dog, and dog can't move, and it's just kind of stuck there.
On a like a spike with a, like they did in the 70s, or that type of thing, right?
Right.
Okay.
And we need to make sure that they have a shelter that is roomy for them, that keeps them warm, and there's a lot of talk about in the ordinance also about animal control being able to go into the property, seek permission first, but if there isn't, and there is a dog that is living in inhumane conditions, they can go ahead and enter the property and issue citations and do what they have to do to correct the problem.
It's interesting that in the world that we live in today, right, where, you know, you have a pet, you want the dog to be there,
Yes.
that you want to take care of them, right? And
Well, and I think it's, I mean, we know when we'd walk by that house when we were going to Johnny's Cash Store, and there's
Yes.
a mean dog on the chain, and
Yep.
so but I think for the most part, people really do care about their pets, they care about their dogs, and a lot of what we've put in the ordinance, they're doing. It's just for those that maybe don't understand or
you
know
just
that.
want to cover your bases, right?
Well, so that 'cause maybe there's younger people, newer pet owners that are excited because they have their dog, and you don't realize, well, you have to take care of your dog like you take care of your child. I mean,
Yeah.
if it's too cold for you to be outside, it's probably too cold for your dog to be outside.
Yeah.
If it's too warm to be outside, and like in the summer when it gets over 90 degrees, you make sure your dog has shade, your dog has water, your dog can come inside the house, things like that. I think it's more of a reminder than anything, because I think for the most part, a lot of people, they treat their pets like the family, members of the family.
Yeah. No, I think that's important, and I know that Councilor Lindell, you know, we did a little spot when she said, hey, the snow, cold weather's coming, make sure that, you know.
Yeah, your pets are brought inside.
Bring your pets in, and there are some dogs, you know, there's country dogs that, you know, they're used to that stuff, and, you know.
Well, but even in that case, country dogs, there's usually have barns or an opening in the barn or in there where, I mean,
sleep in the hay or something like that.
I remember my grandpa's family from Espanola. They had a ranch and they had a farm, but the dogs were well taken care of.
Yeah.
And they slept inside, even though they were country dogs. So I think a lot of it is just writing down what I think a lot of pet owners are already doing, just making it ordinance so that, like I said, maybe there is an instance where somebody just doesn't know, or there is a problem, and it's like, well, you gotta, these are the rules you gotta follow.
And you want to make sure that all pets are treated humanely, and this
Yes.
is just kind of a polish. Make sure, hey, we're just trying to tweak this a little bit, and we want to make it aware that people need to take care of all pets that are outside. Bring them in when it's hot or cold.
So let me ask you, do you have pets?
I do.
What do you have?
I have a dog, and then we have like kind of a adopted dog when my mother-in-law's out of town and stuff. Yeah.
And does the dog, there's a big chain in the backyard?
No, there's absolutely no chain.
Okay.
And he doesn't like to go for walks anymore because he's kind of an older guy.
Okay.
But he spends most of the time inside.
Inside.
He only goes outside when he has to remark his territory.
And would you leave him out in the cold?
Absolutely.
freezing cold?
The wife would not let him do that.
See, and I think that's the way most pet owners are. But I think it's good that our ordinances reflect the behavior that we want.
That's right.
And that we're already doing in most cases.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So that's great. And so that's going to council?
Yeah, it's going through the committee process now.
Okay.
And then I believe it'll be at council, the hearing in March. I think March 11th.
Okay, great. I mean, who could complain about that, right?
We might get a.
I'm just saying, hey, you want dog, you want your pets to be treated right. So that seems like a slam dunk to me.
No, like I said, it's behavior and that we just want to codify that I think the majority of people are already following.
Yeah, I gotcha.
It's just if there is complaints, I would imagine it would be, well, don't tell me how to live my life or how to I know how to take care of my dog. You don't have to tell me.
I don't think anybody's going to come out in public and say that though.
No, but sometimes people do get a little sensitive when it comes to government overreaching or getting involved in our daily.
Yeah.
But I've received nothing but positive emails and a lot of residents thanking Councilor Lindell for bringing this forward and saying how important it is.
And we're working together with you and Councilor Lindell to do a spot.
Yes.
And we're going to be, it's starring a couple of dogs that we know.
Yeah, I've got Murph and Chloe.
That's right. And he's been,
and there's a doggy door that they go in and out. And
that's right.
Yeah.
And Murph's a method actor, so I know that he's been working on because he's supposed to play a vicious dog, and I know that's kind of a reach for him because he's such a sweetheart,
he's
right?
not really. Yeah.
I gotcha.
Chloe, on the other hand, she's actually more protective.
Gotcha. And my dog's getting groomed this Saturday to be in it, so
to be in the commercial.
Yeah. So we're getting rid of. He's getting rid of all the hair. He has so he's getting rid of his hair, and he's going to be nice and ready to go. So
all right,
it'll be good stuff. So be looking out for that. We're going to do a little fun way of doing it, right? Like Anchorman with the subtitles below and stuff. So
what the dogs are thinking.
He should be really cool, yeah.
Maybe they'll thank Councilor Lindell for
they'll thank Councilor Lindell
for introducing the ordinance amendments.
That's right. And how come the mayor's dogs aren't in this? I don't know. We can ask him. All right. So next, okay. So I was going to talk about the teen center, but let's jump to finance. So
okay.
Finance hearings are coming up.
Budget hearings.
We
have finance every month.
That's
plus
right.
A month.
Yeah. So budget hearings are coming up. You have new counselors that have come in, and in the past, every 2 years, they've been thrown into the frying pan pretty much right away with budget. But now it's different because now they're here in January. They got sworn in January, and now they have a couple of months to kind of ease into everything and see what budget's about. I mean, I talked about it with Councilor Kasich Sanchez last week.
Yeah, and she's on the finance committee.
Yes. So how does it feel this year as opposed to previous years as far as the process goes for you guys? What's your assessment?
Well, I think every year you're on the council, you get more and more familiar with the everyday operations of the city, the budget itself. And so each year it gets easier. And I think the fact that, like in the case of Councilor Kasich Sanchez, the fact that she's on finance, she's been able to attend meetings, so by the time budget hearings come, she'll have a good idea as to what we're looking at. Because you're right, when you're first elected under the old system, you start the elections in March, you start like a couple of weeks later, and then you haven't even had a meeting or two and it's time for budget hearings, and you're just getting used to the whole committee process itself, much less having to look at an entire budget. So I think she'll feel more comfortable than we did when we first started out because of that. Same with Councilor Garcia, who's our other new councilor.
Yeah.
And budget hearings they start in the finance committee, but all the councilors usually attend the finance committee meetings for those. It's actually a 2-week process.
Yeah. And we'll have those hearings on. You'll be able to watch them on the government channel and on YouTube as well. We'll be streaming both those two also. So with that, our new system that we have, is this making it easier for you guys to access, to read what's going on as far as budgets goes?
That's the hope. That's the plan. But I think for now, we still have to do a little bit of both because the system isn't completely implemented. I think they wanted this budget year to have the system completely implemented, but I think they're still working through some things with human resources, finance, the internal pieces, and everything that has to go into a budget.
I've noticed for me, and I know I have a pretty simple budget, but it was really easy this year because there wasn't a lot of forms. It was pretty much, here's what you used the previous years. We're looking at doing this year. Here's your base. What are you doing what's your request for next year? Why are you requesting it? And then you send it. And it was pretty simple. Now, I don't know where it goes from there, the information, but the process to get it to finance was a lot simpler than in previous years. So I just got to say
Well,
that.
and I think it helps when you have now a consistency in the finance department, the same finance director, the mayor. So we're not. I mean, 2 years ago we changed mayor, so so I think as long as he's in office, there'll be some consistency, and it should be easier year to
Every
year.
year, because everyone will get used to it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So so that's pretty awesome. So I guess, and they're really interesting to listen to, right? Because there's questions that seem like they've been saved up all year, and
Yeah, they're not germane to the budget itself.
Yes,
but it's something
but you know, you learn a lot. I mean, as far as
you do,
you know, like where people are going, what you know, and like, yeah, I guess the direction, the path that people
that's
are
right.
going to,
and
right?
I think that's one thing that the city manager and the mayor have done a really good job with is starting to schedule study sessions now, because I think that was kind of like you just said, budget. When we had budget hearings, that was the one time you get to ask whatever you've got to ask about the city.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, the rest of the time, you're in council hearings and you're dealing with agendas, and if it's not on the agenda, you don't discuss it. And so I think some councilors, because they had no other avenue, took advantage of the fact that we're all here, we're talking about budget, and now I'm going to ask these questions that I've been wanting to ask for quite some time, but haven't had the opportunity.
Yeah.
So we've been having study sessions. We started that with Jarrell, our city manager, and I think that should help a little bit, because that way we can focus on the budget, on the numbers, because that's really what budget hearings
Yeah, and they
are
should
for.
go pretty quickly, right?
Right.
I mean, it should be as easy as, okay, what do you got here? I got this, this, and this. Okay, why? Well, because this is, okay.
Well, yeah, because we're getting a budget that's brought to us by the mayor, and it's balanced, and so not that we don't have the authority to change it, but he's the chief executive officer of the city, and he's responsible for the day-to-day between him and the manager, and we're more of a check and balance. As far as check and balances go, is the money there? Are there certain initiatives we want, without throwing off the budget? So you would think they would go, pretty smooth, and then for the most part they have. But
Yeah.
but you're right. In the past, one of my challenges as the chair is we got to stay on schedule, because you have deadlines for your budget too.
Yeah.
You have to submit it to the state by
Yeah.
a certain date, and
Yeah.
so you only get this shot, and you've got to get things done. And sometimes you do have issues that you want to bring up because you don't know where else to bring them up, or what other opportunity you're going to get as a councilor to do that. So it's like, we're talking about land uses budget. I have a land use issue.
Yeah.
But I'm going to ask this question now.
Yeah, no, I got you. And it's good for employees or for departments, because when they give it to you, they show you what they're planning on doing. It's not such a surprise when it goes through the process of when it comes up and they have the contracts up. Well, remember, we talked about this back at budget. You guys thought it was a good idea, so
Right.
we went ahead and did it.
That's right.
So it makes the process for later on a lot easier.
Yeah, ideally your budget reflects the goals and the objectives of the mayor and the governing body, and,
That's right.
and each department. They're making requests that are consistent and will help them implement those goals.
Yeah, and for us, for people watching now, we're going to be switching to HD, hopefully on the 26th of this month. We were supposed to do it on the 12th, but there was a little bit of some stuff with Comcast had to situate. So that's a good thing, because that was going through budget for 10 years, and we finally got it done.
Well, and that was related to franchise agreements
was,
with
that's right.
Comcast. We dealt with franchise agreements with PNM.
But but I'm just telling you, every year you guys approved it, and you guys were for it, and that was awesome. So thank you for that. Appreciate it.
I'm glad we finally got it done.
Really excited about it. Yeah. Okay, so that happens in March, right? That's
In
the budget.
April.
April.
The hearings are in
Okay.
April. They'll be, they're in the afternoons.
Okay.
Because what we want to do, when I first got on the council, they were all day.
Yeah.
And when Mary McCoy, the finance director, came in and sat through that first process, we changed it the next year, because she was like, you guys asked for a lot of information, and we need the morning to reset and readjust and get some of that information, instead of just showing up again the next day at 8 o'clock
Gotcha.
and get right into
Makes sense.
budget. So we give them the mornings to
Get
kind
ready.
of reflect,
Find the answers,
from
research.
the afternoon before, research, and then we can start up at 12 or 1
Great,
in the afternoon. And it's a 2-week process.
yeah. Well, that's
And if we need be, we'll reserve a day or two if there's some follow-up.
some extra stuff that you gotta
Yeah.
do. That's good, that's great. So that happens in April. Okay, so next, any teen center updates that you got for us?
Well, we're wrapping up the legislative session,
Mm-hmm.
and I believe that there's going to be additional funds that come to the city of Santa Fe for that teen center. So
Mm-hmm.
I am hoping that we break ground on the teen center this year.
Yeah,
That would be really amazing, because this is something that the city has talked about probably for 10 years, but I think we're going to actually do it.
that's good.
Yeah, that'll be great.
That's good, yeah, because it's such a, it's a different thing now for us, a different world, I guess, as far as the generation, right? And they like to hang around gyms. They like to go out
They
and
like
play
to hang around
basketball,
gyms, and
like to,
they're independent.
Yeah.
Not that we weren't, but with social media and with I guess the access to information that they have,
Yeah.
it's going to be nice to have a resource center for them, a place for them to go, not just to play ball and hang out, but also if we can bring services in there, driver's ed classes, the community college to talk about financial aid. Maybe there's some health issues or concerns, job fairs, things we can do there that you can't get anywhere else.
yeah, that's great. Because it can be daunting, college can be daunting, the process of it
Oh,
all.
financial aid, the FAFSA,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
like, that's,
Yeah, it's overwhelming. I mean, as a parent, you have to fill out the FAFSA every year, and you kind of forget, once your kids are in college, you have to kind of, oh, do I have to do this now? Okay, I'll do it
Right.
now. And
and,
sometimes,
and the schools, the high schools are great with that.
They
They've
are.
got the support, but sometimes,
yes,
it's just backup. It's another place they can get it. Or I don't know, they're busy. I don't
I'm
have
going
time
to
to do
lunch,
that.
and I don't want
That's
to, I
right.
don't feel like going to that right now. And
Right.
before you know it, it's, you know,
But I'm gonna go play ball after school at
Yeah.
the center, or I'm gonna go hang out and work
just
on
making it more
something.
accessible and easier for them, right? To
Right.
be able to get to it. That's pretty awesome. And so is there any kind of like a,
That's something that I'm looking forward to discussing as soon as the legislative session ends and the governor signs the capital outlay bill, because there's still
Okay.
some work to be done, but the session ends this week.
Okay.
She'll sign or veto certain things. Hopefully that stays in there, and if it stays at the level that the House and Senate has funded, and my understanding, even the governor, this is an initiative of hers also.
Okay.
Then I think hopefully we'll start construction this summer.
that's great.
You know, the money's there, so
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
something I keep telling the mayor.
Yeah.
Once we get the money, there's no excuses.
That's
So
great,
let's
man.
get it done.
That's good.
But I'm looking forward to that, especially where it's going at
Where is it going, just to remind folks?
right across the street from the Southside Library
Okay.
in Zona de Sol,
In
in
that
Tierra
group, in that
Yep.
piece of land right there.
Yeah, and you've already got the YMCA that does birth
Yeah.
to kindergarten. You have the Boys and Girls Club that does kindergarten. Actually, we'll do kindergarten to 18, but without a separate teen center. Our population is pretty much kindergarten to 6th, 7th grade, and then so if you have a teen center on that same property, then you pretty much have a campus where you're serving a children from birth to teen years. And then, of course, with the library right next door.
There'll be a nice center,
It'll
community
be a-
area for
it'll be a
people.
great
You have
community
sports
area.
complexes, this will be a community complex.
Yes.
That'll be great.
Yeah, we're really looking forward to that, I
pretty
think.
awesome.
And like I said, it's something that's been in the works for years and years,
You just gotta pull the trigger now, right?
well, and it's really the mayor, when he first got elected, one of our first discussions and our visits was to that Zona de Sol property. I showed him the layout, I showed him told him there's always been plans for a teen center, and he said, well, let's do it. I was like, okay. And he's lobbied, he's worked, he's put money in his budget, he's really the one that has made it happen.
That'd be great. That's awesome. That's good. Hopefully, June,
Hopefully
July.
we'll be
Hopefully
sticking it.
next year when you come and visit us.
We could be talking about a ribbon cutting.
That's right. That'll be awesome.
Yep.
That'd be great. Well, awesome, Councilor. Thank you for coming on today, man.
Thank you for having me.
Appreciate it.
All right.
And all the work you guys do over there, man. So
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. And folks, thank you for joining us. Want to thank Rob Lambert for letting us use this wonderful facility here, the gallery, community gallery. I want to thank Adrian, Abeyta, and Christine McCandless for helping us behind the scenes, making sure that the cameras are straight and the sound and all that good stuff. So thank you guys for doing that. And folks, have a safe week. Have a great week. Bye.